Just call me Callaway Repair Midwest. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary, newly minted top 100 golf fitter. And we are here to talk about what's in my drawers. And why is that? Because old golf club fitters and club makers are tremendous pack rats. And that's what we talked about. And it's been growing into golf equipment discussions, fitting discussions. Let's just have a golf discussion. And we start off every episode by talking about what we did, what we're getting ready to go do, some stuff that was going on in the shop. And then we'll talk about there's a lot of golf being played today. And then we'll answer a bunch of questions. So first and foremost, why did I say I'm Callaway Repair Midwest? Well, number one, if you guys got to see the video from last week, that was three different bore-through repairs. Now, Pete, the different bore-through repairs, it's a bore-through. It's the same every way. And to an extent, you would be correct, except for that the bottoms are, two of the bottoms were, one was very curvy and divotty, and where one was flat, and then the other one was a shiny surface. So that's a whole different repair on its own, plus a different ferrule. So each one were a little bit different in their own right, and hopefully you guys picked up on it if you were watching it. If you haven't, there it is. So, so the whole reason for Callaway East, I might as well call it Callaway East, is that we've gotten, besides that one, is this guy. It's a old X-Hot 2 Pro, and it was sent here to us from Texas, of all things, Texas. And Texas, he just wanted 2 degrees flat, and nobody bent it down there. So I said, well, let's give it a shot, man, and we'll go from there. Not too bad, right? So here's what we did in some of it right here. How about that for some purple grips? I didn't think I was going to like that, but I kind of do. I kind of do like that. And they went on those shafts. Now, you got to like a lot of color, but I think it works. The KBS Max and those grips on some Mizuno heads that we had done prior to. So our golfer is going to get a little bit more air time. We're going to get a little bit more. It's going to feel a lot better than the previous model that was in there. And we should be good to go with that one. All righty. So what else? We've got 2 lefty drivers and a righty driver. And that we got to make those. Let's see. What else did we get done? Oh, not that one. And where'd it go? There we go. And then we put on a whole bunch of grips on a set of clubs that I didn't take pictures for. And so what that does is I am done. I am done making. No. Well, apparently not. Uh-oh, there's more. We got another one. Oh, crud, what is this? Oh, here you go. She knew I was going to say I'm done, and that just wasn't going to happen. Oh, my. It just never stops, and that's a good thing. I mean, it really is. It's a good thing. I thank you guys for sending me that stuff to work on. Been in a hybrid that comes from Texas is just crazy. A couple of those that you saw are going to West Virginia. So I'm glad that we're making a reach, and that's really the whole premise of that. All righty, a few other things. Let's see. Number one, got to go golfing. Had a chance to use the new yellow Chrome Soft XLS as opposed to the white. And you see all that fog in the background, and it truly was like that. And I shot a 38 on the front with a double bogey on number 9. My head just came clean off my shoulders. I was just playing stupid. And then I went back onto the back 9, and I was even again up to 16, where I ended up throwing a triple out, and then proceeded to, the fun factor went really low, and I ended up bogeying the last 2 holes. Not for any lack of trying to par the hole. It just didn't go my way. And so that's just what it was. So 40 or an 81. And I'm just right there on the edge. Only had one 3-putt but I had a couple of one putts, so I'm making up for it. So the putting is coming back, so we're doing that. All right, last but not least, well, not last, but let's call it not even least. Number one, like and subscribe if you would. Like and subscribe, and that way you get to see more of these and this word gets out to other folks. Number two, if you're interested, we do have hats, aprons, and divot tools with the McGolf logo on it. Just send a note to Miss McGolf and she'll tell you what they are. And then last but not least, for all you tinkerers out there, those. It's kind of an ugly lot, but those are all my club connects. All right, you guys know that I am going to those, and I'm basically getting rid of those. All right, and I still have a few more that I have to take apart, and that's just me having to do it. But I'm getting rid of them, and they're going to be at about a third of what I paid for them. All right, so they all start off around $17 a pop, and I'm selling them at $5. And if there's a whole lot of stuff in there, and if you're interested, I'd like to sell the whole thing. And if you're interested, let me know. We'll talk offline, because I don't think that's something that you do online. Okay, another thing. Let's get out of that and go to here. Another thing is, we were talking about the Acra shafts right back here, right? And I did a review on that, and there should be a video out there on that. I talked about custom painting, all right, custom painting. And I asked them to send me a couple of ones that were custom painted just so we could see what they look like. And there's the first one. How about if I give it to you right side up? I wish Gavin were on here so we could talk about this stuff. But so there's the first one, a 40-gram I series. But this, get the idea of white with the red lettering. And you see they got and that's a blue. That's a blue line that's in there. And that turned out pretty good. I do like it. It's kind of a neat color. All right. It's kind of funny. They went from one end of the spectrum to the other. I got a 40 grammer, and then I've got a 110. This is the tour issue. All right. So we got this. This is kind of a red, white, and blue kind of feel. All right. Some red, white. And then it gets down into here. This is neat. This is where they have that reinforcing. This is where that boron weave. And you can actually kind of feel it. Oh, you can feel it where they put McGolf demo. I don't know if you can see it, but right in there is laser etched. So it goes blue, and that blue I'm seeing on TV, and good thing all the blue lights are in here because that's about right. Then that, and then down into a blue tip. I've seen some very, very creative color matchings. So I believe it's basically all that, is all what the creativity would allow, right? All righty. So let's get to the top. It looks like we've got quite a few. All righty. There's Charles. How are you, sir? Hopefully you got out. All righty. That is what one does when they're... There you go, buddy. You were right. I was sitting there trying to download pictures off my phone just to show what was going on. I was like, oh, my goodness, what am I going to do next? All righty. Charles Horn. Oh, look at that. Hot and muggy, Northwest Alabama. It's hot and muggy here, bud. We just had some 90-degree weather, and the rain just came through, and it didn't cool down. You know what that's like. Yep. Any information on the Biomech AccuLock Ace putters? I'm going to have to say no. I know nobody's talked. Nobody's given me anything. There we go. There's David. Hope everybody's doing good out there. This whole, whenever we talk about going overseas, you got to talk about COVID. And looks like we're all reliving a relapse. I changed my light over here, and I can see the computer screen now in my eyes. Mr. Joe. Dude, I am too afraid yet. Not on a weekday. So this is normal stuff. All righty. Question of the week. During a fitting, when does shaft torque creep into your mind? Average swing speed, aggressive swing, what? Torque. It used to be torque was a thing. Torque is kind of a spec that comes in and out of vogue. And I think it comes in and out of vogue with the shaft manufacturers because just like on cycles of car where certain accessories are all the rage and then all of a sudden they're not. And then all of a sudden they're the rage again. Well, the torque is like that. Now, I say that because torque tends to follow flex and weight, meaning that if I give you, not this one, but this guy, the 40-gram shaft, right? If I give you the 40-gram shaft, if you were to look at the torque rating, it would have a higher torque rating. Now, the higher the number, the more the twist, okay? And mostly, when it comes right down to it, it's about all the stuff that's on the shaft, right? About the amount of junk you got to put on it. So this guy is 110, and with the little bit of this on there, so the torque value will be smaller, meaning that there'll be less versions of that. Now, different manufacturers also measure torque differently. Now, you would think that it's all relative, and to a point it can be. If you have a 1 foot-pound on a 1 foot, or if you got 1 pound on a foot arm, 1 foot-pound, or if you have 2 pounds on a 6-inch arm, is it the same thing? There could be arguments on that, but that's how a lot of people will figure it out. And then they put a number to it, so you don't really know what the number means. It's a code for there in order to hide what the torque values might be. And then it also depends on whether or not you hold the shaft here to get this torque value. The torque value will be smaller as if you were holding it here, right? And then you had it out here because there's just more shaft. So it's where you hold it, how you clamp it, and the amount of weight with the arm in order to get it. And they're not doing it the same. However, getting to that, all about that, tendencies is that, and that's why it works like that. When you start looking at profiles, you might see a higher torque value for something that's butt soft. So a guy that's very aggressive may not like that, where an aggressive swinger very well may like something that is stout all the way down across the shaft, and it has a lower torque value. So they tend to live together. Now, there was a time UST had the VTS series, and they came in a white, a silver, and a black. And a red. I'm sorry, silver, red, and black. And red being the most torquey, and silver being the medium torquey, and the black being the smallest amount of torque. And and it was in the same weight and same flex categories. At least that's the way they did it. Well, when I measured them, they weren't. They were the one that was least amount of torque was the softest, and the one with the most amount of torque was the firmest in that range. So you had to kind of feel your way around in that. So hopefully I didn't kill it too bad, but there you go, Joe. I appreciate it, buddy. All right. Dave, question about putter length. So when did putters go to 35? When the answer came out, or when golf bags were made $34 out of myth? Oh, that's pretty good. I'm going to say it's not when the answer came out. Probably because I would imagine I've got one. I do have a standard answer, and I do have one of the standard pings, or I've seen one of the standard pings. I mean, I showed you guys on here, and I don't believe they're 35. They may have been pretty close though. But somewhere in between there, I would think somewhere in probably the 80s, it probably came in vogue for that. Maybe probably in the 80s, because I don't hear too much about lengths of putters changing too radically until you get into the arm lock. But I like the idea of the golf bag. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. So that's pretty good. All righty. Matt, you saw what I did. I'm getting close. We're getting closer. And I think what that had to do is I was actually hitting golf balls in here, and it kind of, practice makes perfect. Shot a 73. How much does swing speed change a fitting you conduct? And not in the slightest. Swing speed is swing speed. It is another parameter that you measure, right? It's just like asking me if I change my fitting process if we have a lady in here or a man. And the answer is no. It's the same. Now I call them genderless, right? Genderless fittings. I know that's all the rage being socially acceptable, but that's what we were doing because the club does not know who's holding on to it. And so we have to get the club to react in such a fashion to marry up with that golfer. And so there it goes. Now, what will happen is typically if you guys got a lot of swing speed and he's really, really good, the conversations will change, but the fitting process does not. There's Danny. How are you, sir? Oh, man. We didn't have room for golf clubs, man. But that would have been cool. I would have been thinking about that if we would have had that. And I got your two is gluing. I just have to cut it, or it's done. It's dry. I just have to cut it and grip it. Have I ever taken a fully assembled club apart that you just put together because of the way the ferrule turned out? Yes, I have. Yeah, I very much have. Thank goodness, not very often, but I've done it probably. I can count on one hand, but I have probably that many, and I've done it. And the worst part is, I find them during the finishing part of it, not finishing well during finishing the ferrule. So the glue is already dried, and we've gotten through there, and I'll find a crack. And where'd that come from? Or it slides up and down, or it slid, maybe from movement. Who knows? That's why I use the tape to prevent that from happening. And just every once in a blue moon, it shows up. And then when we get one in there, and what'll happen is I'll clean it, and it'll get some kind of booger on it, and then it comes off again. But yep, I've done that. I have done that quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit. I've done it more than once, unfortunately. It does, Charles. Consistent ball striking does make a difference. And it takes a little bit of luck out there as well. We were getting around, and I was hitting, just short of greens, and they were jumping on, and they were just rolling towards the hole, and it was a lot of fun. And I was out there with my dad, and we were counting the score, and he was just like, "Oh man, well, here's that day where we just get it." And we were on a roll. We were hitting some really good shots. We were chipping some really good areas. Getting my 60 working a little bit on this one. And then all of a sudden, the one hole, I threw one into a tree line, and I tried to go over a tree, and the very last leaf grabbed it and slammed it back down. So I had to get out there. And then the second shot was the wheels came off, basically. And then coming back, I tried my dangest to get back. One shot, just that one shot, just couldn't get her to go. All righty. Let's go down here. Here we go. Well, you're hearing about it, David. As soon as I bust a couple of rounds in a row into those 70 area, it's on. And it's not for lack of trying. I just need to I need to get in here. And hit some balls even more, because I'm finding out that when I do that, the result on the course is way better. And the thing is, I'm also figuring out that you don't have to overpower the course. You just have to just keep your head in play and get it going. And the biggest thing, is not have a bunch of three putts either. That works. I have my My Sun Mountain rep just happens to be the vice president of the local chapter, so she says anytime I need the help, she's on, so we're good. Look at these guys. See, and Robin's like, oh, nobody talks to me. Yeah, right, whatever. Just happens to be the two sailors. Brendan, how are you, sir? I'm glad to see you're checking in from Northern Ireland. Glad to see that all's going well. I see you've changed your picture here. Who's the other fella? Is that? Oh, look at that. I know who that is. The Strixon bag label or the Strixon label gives it away. Good job. Is that hopefully he's as nice as he appears to be on TV or on the interviews in the TV. Cameron, how are you, buddy? We're doing good. Krister, how you doing? I saw another thing of your swing over there. Hello from rainy Sweden. Played only a round last week, 73, with 4 birdies and 4 bogeys. Well, that's what you call pretty even. Pretty even right there. Hey, Mr. Steven. Robin wasn't looking for you. Your wedges are gluing. They're drying even as we speak. And we were looking to see whether or not you were logo down. We didn't see anything, so I spined and flowed them. So the labels are in different orientations. So, but they are balanced. They do look really good. And I'm gonna spoil the surprise. I'm taking Mrs. McGolf's thunder. I found you some cool ferrules. So this is going to be one heck of a good look. It's all going to match too. That's the best part. Jack, what do you say? Back in Arizona for summer. Ooh, isn't that supposed to be the other way around? Supposed to be back in Arizona for the other ones? For the winter? Took out my old fairway woods, Eclipse Brownings. Oh my goodness gracious, with steel shaft. Look at that. Good job.
Oops, slow it down.
Well, Joe, add 3 more to that of going logo down or of taking clubs apart. Duke, how are you doing, buddy? We did when those things became a thing, and we can thank Bridgestone. They were really that was their way of getting noticed and doing, getting product out to the people to show them that the stuff worked. And that's not a bad marketing idea. I think it was really good, to be honest. And that spurred on a lot of, hey, do you use this ball? Hey, do you use that ball? And brought a lot to light in that the golf balls truly were different, right? And so we tested some. We did, of course, this was years ago, and got a feel for what golf balls work in what situations. Now, the models and the categories haven't changed in probably 15 years, I'd imagine. And what we say is you got the Pro tier, and that's basically your Pro Vs, your Chrome Softs, your TP5s, your B Series Tours, your Z Stars, all that level of stuff, the things that you could most likely see on TV, right? And then the second tier is the performance tier. And that tier holds the E12s, the Q Stars, the AVXs, the ERCs, even stuff like the Wilson Duo Pluses, those kinds of golf balls, And then on Wilson has a professional too. You just won't see it out on the tour. And in that same category, there's 2 tiers. There's all the ones I talked to you about with and including the super softs and those types of things. But then there's that tier where you've got like NXTs and noodles and things like that. And they're okay. They're just not as good. Now, the third tier is how much can you jam in an onion sack? And I say that only because that's what they're like. And they hurt golf clubs, and we don't even deal with those. So once we go through there, and what I do is I in my fitting, I will have them hit a variety of golf balls. They won't know what they're hitting, but I've got them marked in order to see kind of results. And so I don't do what they would say in the traditional sense of a golf ball fitting per se, but it's always neat to get into the right wheelhouse, right? Because there will always be those people. They're Pro V fans from the day one. They're the Chrome Soft fans from day one. They are AVX. They're just E series and all. You name one, and everybody tends to stay with a favorite until something knocks it completely out of the bag. So I don't do it in the traditional sense, but I do it in the idea of getting you into a good category and then letting you pick what you like. All righty. I like the 5-wood so much that I have thoughts on finding an F9 Tour 5 head and putting the grip and make it look more classic. Well, you're gonna have tough time with the steel shaft, Krister. I don't even think they make them anymore. That would be a tough one. That would be a tough one. Now, what I would suggest is if you're looking for that classic look, find you one of those. What are they? Like a recoil or a one. It's called ion plating. ion plating, and it gives it that chrome look. It's just but no steps. That probably looked pretty cool, especially if you went logo down. All right. Does club shafts change characteristics over time and use? Yes. Yes. They do. And so we did this once while we were doing a master's class. We took a shaft and we took a shaft and clamped it and then just hung a 7-gram weight on the end over here in order to see what would happen. And we left it there they had it there for a better part of a month. And now 7-gram weight is pretty substantial, but within a month it stayed bent. So it does say, that just goes to show you that yes, it can be impacted. However, keep in mind, we use a 7-pound weight and it was in a month. So when we talk about over time, we're talking about, years, right? It's not going to be get weak in 1 year, unless you're playing every day, 3 times a day, chances are no. But normal use, normal golfer types, even, multiple times a week and through the golfing season, it's still, you got a long, long, long time to go. So, but do they change? Yes. I have yet to see anybody successful hitting them, Krister, but you're going to have a harder time finding them than you are hitting them. Charles, is it feasible to bend a putter shaft so that it is parallel to the face of the putter? Let's get back to that. Is it feasible to bend a putter shaft so that it is parallel to the face of the putter? I have one that kind of juts out at an angle, forcing you to put your heads in. That's kind of the idea, Charles, is that when they putt, they want you to have your hands on top or just forward of the ball. That was by design. And typically it's probably a double bend shaft, or it's drilled. Let's say it's kind of like it's drilled into instead of being at 90, it might be drilled in at 70, something along that lines. And you can bend putter shafts, but not by very much, a couple degrees max, in order to bring it back. And if you can find out whether or not if it's drilled in at an angle, the chances are is no. But if it's drilled in at a 90, then yeah, it's very easy to make that happen. It's taking it apart and putting it back together. All right. We got here Tobester McDonkey. Okay. Utility iron or 5-wood? Ooh, I'm probably more in the utility iron range than I am a 5-wood. And that's just my style of hitting. The 5-wood, we were just talking about that with a couple last fittings I did here over the weekend. And that was a question, I always look to see if you're a fairway wood person or if you're a hybrid person. And in the last half a dozen bags, everybody's got a 5-wood, but hardly anybody's got a 3-wood. Dawns on me because the 5-wood is more upright traditionally, and it's a little shorter, so it acts like a kind of a super powered version of a hybrid, and that's the reason why people are getting through it. So, and it's at 18, so it's like hitting a 2, right? And you're right into that utility iron, which is a good question at that particular point. Which one would you do? And honestly, the iron just suits my look, I think, a little bit better. Oh, we got to get to the top. Here we go. Here we go. Good deal on those connects for someone. What do you say, Kent? How are you, sir? Glad to see you can make it from all the way over there. I saw where we got the Strixon is already leaking the Cleveland stuff out. That's what the new change is going to be this year, is from the Cleveland. So that's going to be good. I just can't wait for the new stuff to come out. I don't think I've been this excited in a long time just to see the new stuff come out. I don't know if it's because if I'm carrying it or what I'm doing, but I'm ready. I'm ready to see it. Oh, and somebody out there always asks me about sub 70. Okay, sub 70. And I saw a good friend of mine that does clubs that he was able to get heads. And I think it's because he has a good relationship with the owner. However, that's going to spur to see whether or not we can do some testing with him. Pooey, what is up? I haven't seen you for a while, partner. Are we destroying long golf courses still? Would a shorter shaft help strike locations on the driver? In most cases, yes. Not all, but yeah. High in the head on and fade shape. Tried tee height adjustments, but hit it worse. Pro Launch Red around 45, 46. So before you go cutting, Pooey, the Pee-wee, is that, I call him Pooey. It's probably Pee-wee. That's goofball on me right there, right? Just choke down. All right. And we've said this before. The average best length on average is 44 and a half. That's the total length of the driver. So if you're at 45, just choke down a half of an inch and give it a shot. Don't just hit it once and, oh, it failed. No. Give it take it on a round, and that's how you're going to hit it. And if it's at 46, obviously you're going to have to choke down a little bit further and see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much what happens, because sometimes for a guy that if you're most, we'll say, low digit handicappers, if the club gets long, they tend to flatten it out. And if it flattens out and you're turning, early, all you're talking about happens. And so a little shorter make you address the ball a little bit and change that plane. All right. There's Mrs. McGolf talking to the folks. So I wouldn't, the red, knowing you're an aggressive fellow, the red is actually a pretty decent little shaft. It's just making it the right length, right? And that could go for a lot of folks, right? A lot of folks. And that's what we need to do. And there's Tim. What do you say, partner? Greg Robertson, how are you, buddy? Yeah, right back, right? Lehigh Valley. I think it's is it, you suppose it's is it just the weather running through? Because we are having that change in season, I think, where it just gets super hot. There's a fellow out hitting. How about that? All right. David, that could be a great video, how to bend all the different types of putter, hosels, and single bend. Yeah, that would, with that new golf mechanics I got, we should. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I got a message, I think. I got a message. Did I get a message? No, I got an email. And I got an email from a gentleman that is, let's see, I'm trying to find it. I won't spend too much. Hey, you guys got that new Adams driver? I keep getting asked about how to take the weight out of the back. I haven't even seen the Adams driver. Somebody knows, let me know, and I'll forward it on to this person. Here we go. Let me see if I can check this out. That is what you call one old school putter bender. Old school putter bender. He was asking me for advice on how to bend a putter. Just so happens I did a video and sent it to him, but that is one old school putting device, man. Woo! So I just wanted to ask him. I said, you probably need to take about a half a day and just take some steel wool to that thing and some grease, and then that way you can use it better. So there you go. Bobby, what's going on, sir? What players are using the Acra shafts that I know of? Well, let's see. Gary Woodland was using it. The guy from England, the guy that everybody likes that does really good at the Ryder Cup. He's actually golfing really good right now. Gotta like him. Starts with a P. He's a good Englishman. He's a good guy. He played one. Most of them are in the driver shafts, and there are actually, it's surprising the amount that there are. RPGs and the Tour Zs have been a real popular choice. And there's a bunch. Every year we go through the numbers, and I always just want to write down everybody so I can bring it back to you guys. And that was in January, so I've since forgotten. But I did a video. I went and visited the guys at Acra in Canada, and in there it talks about shafts. And in their room, they've got pictures of all the guys that were playing their shafts. And I scanned them all. So if you're really, really interested in that, that's where that's at. All right. USS Boulder LST Gator Navy. Yes, it is, man. Hoorah. Blue Monster for free, huh? That'd been great. Man, that is old school, dude. That is old school. All right, past my prime. When you're soul grinding, what device do you use to measure bounce? Well, I use a protractor. Well, it's an angle. It's just a real simple angle measure to get an idea of what's going on. They make this new really simple tool, and Golf Mechanics has it, where you lay it on a block, and it sits like this, and then let me go the other way. It lays on a block, and your protractor comes right up into it and hits it just like that. I can't think of anything more simple and more easy to use on something more confusing. I had one that it had 3 extra attachments. It was nutty, and but that's what I use. You can use a regular protractor or an angle measure like that comes with a lot of the angle measuring tools. That's what I use. Kurt Evans, what's going on? Am I the only senior golfer who has to play a 130-gram iron shaft? Any shaft left 100 gram, and the tempo is a wrecker for me. No, you're not. I was just talking last week about a gentleman that did that. He was very, very aggressive swinger, and the heavier weight allowed him to find the club. We went lighter, and it was a mess. But yeah, sometimes you get used to that. But I bet finding a senior shaft at 130 grams, or even finding one that gets down into, I'm assuming super senior type guy. there's going to come a time where that's going to be difficult to find. But if you're aggressive, then a little bit higher flex would work out fine. Look at that. Shot of 70 from the blues. And this is McGolf talking to Cameron. Now, I like to play the Blue Monster. It still exists. All right. Tobster is going to ask me another one. What if you identify as a non-buried BIPOC unicorn? Stop it. In the fan room. See, back of the torpedo room would have worked. We had a hold there, but I don't think the whale was just a big golfing crowd. There's Type R. What do you say, sir? Hope was well. Took the Triumph Storm out yesterday. Nice surprise shot of 42. Now, when he's talking about the Triumph Storm, these are kind of a look-alike old ping clubs. Man, they are tiny. They're small, and the woods on them are just crazy. They're probably not big around as that glass, and to hit them are pretty good. Nice, well done. There's Ronald. You're welcome, sir, anytime. Different, yeah, no kidding. There's a place in Louisville, and I believe it was at Persimmon Ridge. And there was at Persimmon Ridge, there was a hole that was right next to a cemetery, and they left golf clubs there as a tribute to the golfers that were buried at the cemetery, and they were all persimmon golfers. And so as a tribute, what you would do is you would put your club in a bag and you would go get one of these persimmon clubs and you would hit it out onto the fairway. And as a kind of I guess we call a sign of respect. And it was a lot of fun. I got away without having to hit one because no lefty persimmons. But it was kind of cool. Charles saying tough. Yeah, there you go. Hello again from England. Well, Warren, thank you for taking the time. I know it's late over there. I'm glad you made it. Oh, where at in England? That would be nice to know. Hello from Detroit. Hey, good deal. How did you guys survive the last golf course there? They had just had the tournament there last week. How did that go? Were you there? Bobby's asking a question. Hi, Robin. Hope you're sure well and safe. Jim, could you talk about the Ventus shaft, the men and the ladies, and are now using them on tour, and your opinion on them? Well, the Ventus shaft is obviously quite popular, and so what'll happen, as you will see, is that what'll happen is one golfer will have some just crazy success with a golf shaft, whether it be Ventus, Acra, True Temper, UST, doesn't matter. And all of a sudden, all the other guys got to have it. Because if it worked for him, it certainly can work for me. And you'd be surprised how prevalent that is out there. Even after being fitted and knowing you're hitting a good club, they still like that. And there are a lot of folks out there hitting it. You can go to the website and see them, but had to do some research on them because I was looking at carrying them, and the different, the blue, the color, they're color coded. So the blue is the one that's is the most popular out there, and that's probably going to hit the most average. And they got blacks and they got different colors, and the black being very, very stout. But I do like the way that they're made, right? I do like the way that they're made. I do like the pattern that they use. It's a good shaft that I think we'll probably see more of going forward, because they struck gold with this one, and we'll probably see offshoots of the Ventus. Oh, got to get to the top again. Jeez, oh, Pete. Well, there's some toad trying to get in here. I got to get rid of him because he is not being very smart. Alrighty. Charles is glued to the putter head. So if it goes inside the putter head, then yeah, you can still pull the shaft out and put it in there. Normally what might happen is you have the putter and then it's got a post and then the shaft fits over top of it. There's always one of those that can happen. But if it's just bending the shaft, then you only got a couple of degrees, so probably not. All right, Matt Spone. Trying to find the right length and weight of clubs for my 12-year-old who's playing competitively. No one near me fits undersized clubs. That's a tough call, dude, because the young man is a rarity if he's playing competitively and doing well. I would say this is the one. 12-year-olds are kind of different because particularly they hit that tweener age, right? The 12, 13, 14-year-old range, depending on their maturity. But those are tough because they're almost tall enough. They're like short men, but they don't have quite that strength yet. And so that's a little different. So you might get away with having him fit into some ladies stuff. Just have him swing some ladies stuff and see if he makes good ball contact. And if he makes good ball contact, and even take some ladies stuff and choke down and see if he makes good ball contact. And then based on the ball contact, you can take off these certain numbers and get him into the clubs that you're looking for. But and at 12, again, it's all, there's very few actual pieces made that are directly related to the junior golfer. Now, over here in a driver shaft in the Acra FX, I've got two. They're called SRTs, and one's just a little bit more firmer than the other. It's a lightweight driver shaft, and I guess it just works. There's a couple of companies out there that specialize in graphite shafts for kids of this nature. Sometimes that the junior is good enough that maybe an A-flex club would work, but it's really it's a tough. You got to get out of the mindset of what a normal swing weight is or a normal total weight, all these other things, because even because they're playing competitive, they're still 12. And so strength, speed, coordination, distances, or, left to right for lie angles, that kind of stuff all come into play. And so that would be a tough call, but I would try, if you find somebody around there with a lady set and have them choke down and see what happens. Tubbsy, what's going on? Haven't seen you for a while, bud. 3-wood, 5-wood, 4-rescue for me. Yeah, my iron starts at a 5 as well. Always enjoy his courses you're playing. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba Naval Base has almost no grass. Dude, I didn't even want to go to Gitmo. My tender went to Gitmo right after I got off of it. I couldn't have been happier. That's like, you want to talk about the devil's butt right there, man. No way. All right. Nah, no fantails. Nicola Spirolazzi? All right. Milano. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Milano, that's new. That's a good one. I'd like to know we're in, let's see. What do you think about Big Bertha 3 fairway woods and leave driver? The current Big Bertha, the BB21s, are a very draw bias club. They can be very strong. They're around 14. and the RCH shaft that comes standard in it is very, it's surprisingly good, to be honest with you. If you're able to hit that thing very, very well, chances are you probably could leave the driver in the bag and score better. What that really, really tells me, Nicola, is is that your driver is probably too long. Okay, and that is again is by design. The drivers that are current are anywhere between 45 to 46 inches. And like we were saying earlier, the average length that was good on tour and after some testing I did, we found 44 and a half to be the way to be. Now, it doesn't mean you can't go shorter. I find 44 to work very, very well as also. So what I would do if you're, keep the 3-wood because you're obviously hitting it well, but try and choke down on the driver before you make any modifications, and then see if you don't hit it a little bit better. And thanks for Milano. Sorry. Thank you. All right. Oh, hit the North Pole. Ha 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 ha, you dog. I'd like to get up to Norway one day. That'd be kind of neat. So you can't use any steel shaft for the fairway wood? No, the fairway woods will be 335. It'd be like trying to on the same vein as a driver shaft going to the fairway wood. If you have a steel fairway wood shaft or a steel driver shaft, chances are it's going to fit. But I just like if you're looking to buy something out there and it was new, I just don't think they make them anymore. All right. There we go. Charles said it just right. So it's blue. Yes, it is. The Maltby bounce tool. Yep, that's what I had. Now they have a more simpler version of it, so that's a good one. Golf Fitter from Canada. All right. So is the GolfWorks Canada still up there? I can't remember. They used to have one. Must be getting close. I just got the end of my 2 fingers. Love watching the videos and the first. Yeah, I tell you what, it's getting fun. I sent the video of those last 3. I did send them to Callaway because apparently they won't do them anymore. And I said, well, just call me. That's what I told them. I said, call me Callaway Midwest. That'd be fun. I'd be able to do all the old ones, including, the one thing I haven't seen in a long, long time is those bore-through irons. You used to do those all the time, and people have a real hard time with those as well. It's really kind of funny. But yeah, we'd like to try and get a hold of some of that. But I do like those, and I like the older clubs too. We haven't had to do one where I have to punch out a pin yet. That'll be interesting. Alan Campbell, how are you, sir? You have said in the past that you were not a fan of Cleveland Wedge. Love the TA. Yeah, I'm old. My replacement intention is to buy the zip cord. However, I would listen to your opinion. Well, so Alan, some people are just geared towards that style, and that's just what it is. It's not that I don't like Cleveland as a whole. I just the look of it just I guess I'm a wedge snob. But the look of it for some reason just doesn't hit me right. And the funny part is the ones that I really do like other than the Wilson are the ones that were designed by Mr. Cleveland. He's working over at Callaway. So yeah. And now the zip core, I do like some of the ideas that they come away with where they were laser engraving in between the grooves to give you a little bit more bite. And that's basically what the zip core is all about. The RTX, that's marketing stuff. Like everybody's got MDs or spin mills and all that other stuff. That's just marketing for making the face a certain direction or a certain way. But I know guys here around this neck of the woods just love that thing. It just doesn't fit my eye. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't want to, McNay, who doesn't want to hit it past their buddy, particularly if you're a kid, so you can have bragging rights. I mean, that's just what it is. Stuka, South Africa. We are going all over. We are going international today, guys and gals. What do you think of the Super Stroke 3-point grip on a driver? Would that be legal? No, I do not. Although I will say, I have put putter grips on drivers and fairway woods. I A gentleman came in and said he wanted putter grips on every one of his clubs because he liked where the flat was and it helped him keep the club square. I don't know. I don't know. But and if you liked them that big around, I would check into Jumbo Max. However, the reason why it would not be legal is that when you put a grip on a club other than a putter, it has to be symmetrical, i.e., round. All right, can't have any flat. The minute you put a flat on it, you go illegal, and that's the reason why they don't have any of what I call the Coke bottle shaped grips anymore, where they were at the top of the grip, and then they would curve in and go back around, and then get narrow again. And it was to put the big part of your palm in this area. It was smaller here, so you could get in there and grab the club. That was all the rage for a while, and that's illegal. It was almost to the point where ribs were illegal, and then they figured a way around those. So no, but other than that, you can't have the flat. So if you can find a big round one, if you like that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a big round grip, particularly if you have very large hands or maybe arthritis or whatever, and you could do that, but not with the flat. All righty. We have a gentleman here that comes and visits us from South Africa. He's up here working, and we fit him into some Srixons, and he is just nailing it. So very devoted golfer type. So thank you again from South Africa. All right, thanks. I was looking at a bounce gauge from GolfWorks sells, but wanted to get your input. Well, you'll find that Golf Mechanics makes a lot of the same stuff, and the GolfWorks will rebrand it. And if it's just a simple bam, 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 I like simple. Put it on there, measure the bounce straight up and down, bam. Yep, there you are. There you go. And there's another bigger round part, that thickness too. You can get arthritic and medical grips for less than elderly people. Yeah. Now, I will say the jumbos, the bigger round part, the 1.25, I think you can go bigger, because they've legalized the Jumbo Max, and those things are monsters, and you can use those. In fact, you can use their version of mid-size is like almost 2 jumbos. All right, John Keene. Do you prefer to use the assigned heads to shafts when checking your frequency instead of the weight supplied by the manufacturer? Yes. Yes, I do. In fact, I almost never use the weight. And now, if I'm profiling so that I have an apples to apples comparison, I will use the weight. And that way you get the same, you're comparing the same thing. But when I'm making clubs, I will use the vary head, and that way I know, because if I've already weighed them, and I'm trying to get them in a certain range, so I'll be adding weights and that kind of stuff too. Oh, I'm getting the sign, guys. So yeah, I use the heads. All righty. That's always a good one right there. Well, the effect would be the grip is the Fatso grip is actually kind of heavy too. So it's going to make it lighter in the swing weight, but I think we're going to run in from a legality point of view is the flat. All right. Oh, look at Mr. Charles is helping me out. Coke Rack, Hartman, Sink, Ian Poulter. Yeah, Ian Poulter. That was another one. All righty. Well, I think each head has a particular weight that it should be within in order so the builds turn out correctly. All right. Whoop, looky here. Somehow I jumped a whole bunch. Diane, there's Diane. How are you? How are you guys? I think Robin was talking to you guys not too long ago, so very good. Thank you for checking in. There's Scrunchy. Swing speed of the driver is at max 100 with a slow tempo. Just ordered some KBS Tour R shafts with my irons. Should I soft step them? Just trying to raise their trajectory a bit. No, I think you'll be all right. I think the KBS Tour. Oh, you're in the steel as well. Yes, I'd soft step them one. Just soft step them one. Alrighty. Alrighty, so we're back. There's Diane. Minnesota, how are you doing? Bob. There's my buddy Bob. I'm getting ready, man. I might be able to keep up with you here soon. There's Teresa. That's my cousin. I didn't see her up in here anywhere. Maybe she was just saying hi to her. Hi, kiddo. Golfworks and Golf Mechanics, same company now? No, not yet. The Golfworks is owned by Golf Galaxy, is owned by Dick's, where Golf Mechanics is out of Singapore. But they do carry a whole lot of the same stuff, that is for sure. All right, thanks for the pry. He plays Ping Prodigy irons, but now is about on the edge to switch, and the flex was a bit concerned. Yeah, you might be able to you might be able to jump up a flex, Matt, and let him learn to hit them because, as you know, he's right in the middle of growing. He go to bed tonight and wake up 6 inches taller in the morning. So you might going to that next flex might not be a bad thing. All righty. Days left, not too many. All righty. Yep. Kurt, when grip supply issues return to normal. Yeah. All right, couple more, and then we are done. Was struggling to carry the Triumph One Wood 250. Well, yeah. Driver's 290. Big difference from the 19. Yeah, the size. Heck, if you miss the golf ball, you probably catch. If you miss a quarter inch either way, you're missing the golf ball by at least a half. Michael Davis, on the hunt for some new irons. I have a set of John Daly's, and they are old. Yes, sir, they are. I don't hit the irons good looking for something with forgiveness. So, Michael, in just about every company has a forgiving iron, okay? Right now, the Maverick and Callaway, the D9 and Wilson, the Hot Metal and Mizuno, the ZX4 and Strixon. Cleveland has their version in the, what are those things called? High launches, right? High launches. Everybody's got one. And so it's just a matter of when you look down on it, do you like the look of it if you're not playing very much? Or the other part is, and I would stress, is if you've been playing for a while and you just can't hit them, go get fit. Right? Get fit and find out what you really need. It could be the best money you ever spent to save other money that you're getting ready to go spend. So there we go with that one. Ben Hogan. Try them for free. Hogan doesn't, at least I don't think they don't make any lefty stuff, so I'm not on board. But it's a good, if you're looking to try them, yeah. Okay, a couple more, and then we really got to go. Okay, what do you think of puring? Hope you had a good Sunday. Weather a little foggy here in Ontario. Nick, puring is about a 50-50 thing here. 50-50. 50 people, 50% like it, 50% couldn't tell the difference. Puring is the computerized version of what we do here with spine and flow. And it balances the shaft so that it reacts the same each way. Now, does it make your golf game better? That would be on the guy that's holding the grip. But does it make a more consistent golf club? For certain, right? For certain. Now, is it worth the $15? Is it worth the $15 or whatever it is that to get each one done? That one's purely your wallet's going to tell you that one. All right. Is it true that copper irons are banned because of the metal being toxic? Apparently, copper is the smoothest feel. So what that is, Stuka, is the Ping I2 coppers. It's not necessarily the copper; it's the beryllium copper, and the beryllium is the problem because when it gets up in the air, it causes berylliosis, and berylliosis is very similar to asbestosis. It gets in the lungs, very hard to breathe, and that's the reason why you don't see that very much. Now, copper as a whole is very soft and doesn't take the punishment like a steel does. That's why you always see some sort of combination of the steel and copper so that it brings that firmness of the steel down so you get that good feel. If you remember in the Mizunos this last year, they would take the initial forged piece when it was in its roughness, and they would finish it up, and then they would cover it in copper and then cover it with the outer coating of nickel, or what most people think it's steel, or chrome it. And that gave it its super duper soft feel. And that's the reason why when they would wear through, you would see a steel ring, a copper ring, and then another darker ring. All righty. All right, let's see. Last one. She's giving me the last one. There, Krister, last one. If I want to use the same feeling in modern fairway I get with my old ones in the steel shaft, what should I look for? For you, Krister, it's a kind of a different animal because you like the higher weighted stuff, and you're not. I've seen your swing. You're really not that aggressive. A little over topish, but you're not that. You're just not that aggressive. But if you like that particular feel, it could be because of the shorter club. And yes, I would go because the fairway wood shaft, if you even took it, they're probably in the 110 range, and you cut them down to be smaller. So a 110 graphite would probably feel about the same. So there you are. And my dog Rex, how you doing, guys? All right, guys, we got 8 minutes over, got a whole lot. South Africa, Italy, Ireland, England, Canada. We hit Indiana, we hit Detroit. Well, that's not necessarily a state, but hey, Florida. We are all over the map today, guys. I appreciate it. It was a good talking to you all. And again, watch out for I've got a shaft test of a smaller company that I've done business with in the past, and it's really kind of interesting stuff. I think you guys will like it. It'll really open your eyes to a new design. I will say that. So, again, guys, like always, as soon as I find it, let's see your scores. Go low.